There we are. Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is Share a Beer Show 354. It's a special Monday edition, actually. I happen to be off work, so it was instead of doing it tomorrow when I go back to work, do it today while I'm still off, and then I'm able to have a beer or two. So we have Mark with us for a few minutes. He has a regular thing he does every
Yep.
Monday, so he jumped in just for a few minutes.
You talk to Jody. Say hi, Jody.
Hi, Jody.
Oh, hey! Wow, how you doing?
She's
Wow.
coming up to give me my dessert, chocolate.
Oh yeah, hey, you gotta have chocolate. You know, gotta have chocolate. Heck yeah! Wow, cool. That's
No,
a
no, there you go. That was Pam.
that's a that's a rare sighting anymore. It used to pop in every once in a while, but
Yeah, yeah.
um,
But so what are you drinking tonight?
my first one's gonna be a local beer. Nothing new that I've had on here. Kilt Lifter. Um,
Oh, okay.
so I've got a couple local beers actually, but this will be my first. Had it plenty of times. It's a very good beer, of course.
Mhm.
So um, but and yourself, you're probably just not.
No, I'm not drinking a beer tonight, but
Yeah.
here's what I had last night. I got
Sweet.
the PBR up here.
The old blue ribbon.
Yeah, I bought a 6-pack of it at the grocery store so I could do beer brats. I used 2 cans to simmer the brats on Saturday night, and then had 1 can Saturday, 1 can yesterday. I still got 2 left, so
So yeah, enjoy, huh?
not bad for $5.49.
And the brats, how did the brats turn out?
Oh, awesome. Some onions, some brats, about pretty good. Dinner Saturday night and lunch for each of us today, so it worked out pretty good.
I'm gonna go ahead and let me see. Just in case some of you haven't been familiar with Four Peaks, I'll go ahead and look it up on the
Yeah.
real quick on it because I talk about it, but I'm not sure that necessarily everybody has had it or knows about it. So here's a quick rundown on Beer Advocate. 177 reviews as of this moment, and it gets an 83.
Okay.
Classified as a Scottish ale, 6%, available year round. Like I said, it's 60% of their sales is
That's a huge
this beer.
percentage. Yeah.
So 21 IBUs. It's nothing spectacular, but it's just a solid beer for
Mhm.
excuse me
Yeah.
for all the time. So it's
Mhm. Yep.
it definitely listen just he says he gets aromas of caramel, vanilla, peat, earthy tones. The peat, the vanilla, the caramel for sure. The caramel and the vanilla for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's just a quick rundown for those that haven't had it,
Mhm. Do
So
you get any smokiness at all, or is it more just a caramel and?
I don't get any smokiness.
Okay.
No, it's mostly a lot of caramel.
Okay. All right.
Um, no, I don't. It's not real sweet though. It's not an overly sweet beer,
Okay.
but it's just pretty good. It's just a
Yeah.
nice little session beer, rather.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. No, it's that's a good style of beer. A lot of people like it. I know Monday Night Brewing here in Atlanta. Their most popular beer is called Drafty Kilt, and it's a
Oh,
Scottish ale.
uh-huh.
Yeah, so Kilt Lifter, Drafty Kilt, same kind of thing. And I think it's a little. I think it's a little. It might be 6.5%, and it's pretty flavorful. It's got a little bit. You definitely get the caramel, vanilla, but you get a little bit of smoke in there too. I mean, they do have there's a it's not like a smoked beer, but you get a little bit of that, almost like burnt molasses. Kind of smoky
Yeah.
kind of stuff, and it's just a really easy drinking beer. No real low IBUs, just
I
real
think I
nice.
think I think what people like about that style maybe is that it goes good with stuff like what you were talking about earlier, like brats and
Mhm.
all, just those typical things you might have when you're at a
Oh
when
yeah,
you're at a bar or
oh yeah,
you know
burgers, brats,
yeah
hot dogs,
yeah
fries, pretty much anything. It's like
yeah
Goes with just about anything.
Yeah, a go all type beer.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly, there was a article here, something that popped up. I happened to notice it since this morning, actually. And this one is craft is dead. Now we drink indie beer. And I noticed that it was going around on the social networks this morning. And this is by what is this? Ian Anderson? Ian Anderson? Ian Anderson?
Ian probably.
From San Diego Beer News. Just to give him credit, of course, this is his work here, and he says the term craft beer may be in need of a makeover. The Union Tribune reported this week that Bend, Oregon's 10 Barrel Brewing has proposed a 10,000 square foot brew pub in East Village. In response, local beer industry podcasters have doubled down on a push to describe independently owned breweries as indie beer companies rather than craft. What do you think about that, just from that initial?
I think he's got a point. I mean, because at the beginning, before the craft beer movement got big, I mean, it was only small, independently owned brewers that were doing tasty, well-made beer, flavorful beer. Now you've got, some of the larger brewers buying up those craft breweries, and they're still making the same beer, but they're owned by gigantically big companies. So maybe indie beer is something, because most indie beer is going to be good beer. It's kind of like a catch-all. If they're independently owned, and I guess the question is what qualifies as independently owned. Then you get that whole, is Yuengling independently owned?
Yeah, right.
They're a privately held company. They're a family-owned business.
I don't know. I have a problem. It reminds me of when, and granted, I haven't even read the whole article here. It's something brand new. It just popped up today, and I think we get the gist of what he's trying to say just from that initial, read. But it reminds me of when podcasting first started. And I remember I had a podcast initially when it first started back in 2004, and there was a movement led by Leo Laporte to call him what did he want to call him? He wanted to call
netcasts or
netcasts.
something.
And he drove that nail hard until recently. I think he was wanting to call him, and then you couldn't fight it anymore. It was just everyone just it stuck. Podcasts stuck. And now, and I remember the controversy at the time was the fact that you had iPods, and so people just thought initially when podcasts first came out that you had to have an iPod in order to listen to a podcast. And that was his problem is that there were so many other music playing devices, that weren't Apple made that, so he wanted to call it a netcast, and it didn't fly.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of that, like, just kind of like, we're already so used to calling it craft beer. That is indie beer really going to stick all of a sudden? I mean,
yeah, no, I agree. I think craft beer will probably stick around a heck of a lot longer than indie beer, at least the term wise. But I mean, I guess he has a point that there's a lot of giant breweries that make craft, that make tasty, flavorful, well-made beer. That's not just light lagers or whatever. But yeah, I mean, craft beer that's what I think of when I think of quality beer, and I'm not completely opposed to having a tasty beer brewed by a big brewer. If it's a well-made beer, I'm not completely opposed to it. I'd like to support local, smaller, whenever possible, but I'm not going to just turn away a well-made beer because, Anheuser-Busch does it or something like that.
Some of those overseas breweries that we still consider here in America, at least, we consider some of those overseas breweries craft beers. and then breweries are bigger than hell. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And they've been around for centuries, so it's like,
Yeah.
um, you know, I don't know. Maybe we've talked about it before. How like, you know, like Sam Adams and your Dogfish Heads and your Sierra Nevadas and so forth. Uh, you need a different classification, and I believe they do actually. I just don't know the name right offhand.
Yeah. They're not macros. They're
Because once you hit that certain level, like, what's the organization that sets these classifications? I forget. Do you remember that?
not
I
the
can't
Bureau of
remember
Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. It's somebody else.
that. I don't think it's them. Yeah.
You brew a lot of beer and you have some AK-47s in the brewery, then we got to classify you a little differently. You're brewing beer and you just got some, 22s in there.
Yeah. It's I don't know. To me, this little movement here, and they're saying that he says that here it started. The indie beer designation and social media hashtag arose during a November 17th podcast. So this stuff is really, really fresh.
Yeah, just a couple months old.
Just a couple months old, and there's a quote here. Is craft beer even a thing anymore, or is it just marketing? Asked Pritchard. Um, it's been appropriated by corporations, is what he's saying. So, I don't know, but to me, it feels the opposite. To me, this feels like indie beer, like you want it to be indie beer, so that you can take credit for, hey, I was the one that came up with the indie beer thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it feels the opposite. Like, what is the need for this? I don't know. I don't really see when it comes to that part. I can see the need to have like that middle ground, or even something like maybe 4 stages. Like you got craft beer down here, and then macros up here at the top, and then 2 stages in between.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think he's coming at it. He's probably. I mean, I don't know him. I don't think I've ever listened to his podcast, but
Me neither.
He probably does not. He probably runs away from anything macro. I mean, he's probably guys that will never drink a macro beer.
Yeah.
And so that he was trying to come up with a way to make sure that anything that's tasty beer is only brewed by smaller locally owned companies or something. I mean, and there's a lot of beer geeks that will not, absolutely not touch anything macro.
Macro,
And,
right?
I mean, I don't very often, but every once in a while, why not? It's sometimes they put out some good stuff. I don't drink it all the time, but there might be 15. It's like 80-20, the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time I drink locally owned craft beers. 20% I'll whatever.
Well, it's just like for different reasons. You have your hardcore people that will not shop at a Walmart. They're firm believers that Walmart has destroyed small business in small towns, and they're just evil. And they import too much stuff from China, and they're the root of all our problems, right? So you have a lot of people that won't shop at Walmart. And then you have whole another side that says, well, Walmart's actually good for the economy. Like a lot of these small towns would only have a little local market and not all the other stuff that the supercenter offers. So, they might not have a mechanic on site. They might not have an obstetrician, eye doctor. They might not have some of them have all kinds of different little services in there.
Oh yeah. No, there's always 2 sides to everything, and depending where you're coming from, it's easy to stick to one side or the other, and always find enough evidence on one side. And whatever side you're on, it's easy enough to find enough evidence to support your side.
So here's the quickly the last 2 little articles columns here is it immediately resonated with me as a craft beer drinker who points out to the 10 Barrel Brew Pub as a prime example of the need for new terminology. It is something that looks like independent beer uh, and will sell itself
Yeah.
as that. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but the problem with that is now you're left with who, with what? Like,
Yeah.
how many more years is it going to take before everyone's bought out by somebody?
Mhm.
And then you're still back at kind of what I'm talking about. Like, how big does the brewery that buys you out have to be before you're like, they're not indie beer anymore?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because you do have some of the bigger craft beer
Mhm.
breweries buying the smaller ones.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
It's not just the Budweisers and the Coors and the like. It's
Oh no, that's New Belgium buying some other ones. You know that type of
right.
thing. Yeah.
So
I'm hearing a voice yelling at me from
yeah,
downstairs.
yeah, you better
Time to
get.
go bowling. Time to go bowling.
Yeah, you better get, man.
I better
Enjoy,
go.
my friend. Thanks for
All right.
jumping
Take
in. I
care. See
appreciate
you,
it.
everybody.
All right, bye.
Bye.
But I do find this pretty interesting to me. That's my kind of take on it. Is that like, how big does the brewery have to be before? Because it seems like that's the business model for a lot of stuff, not just beer these days. Is the bigger are just eating up the smaller, and even within craft beer, you have uh, companies that are just they're buying the smaller ones, you know, or merging, if you will, with the smaller ones. So I don't know. I don't see any need for it. Myself personally, I think it'll all work itself out. I didn't know that. I think there's more of a need for the stages so that you kind of know, like craft beer would mean that it's a small independent brewery, like my friend Zach's brewery, and then you have another name, maybe it is indie beer, and that is a designation for another different size brewery. Because if you go by just because AB bought somebody, that it's no longer craft beer. uh, hey Bum, how you doing, man? um, that I don't know. I just don't see any need for it. But you know, if enough of a movement gets going here, I think it's going to confuse a lot of people. Actually, you know, you have some people that are just now being made aware of craft beer, and then all of a sudden, if you start calling stuff indie beer, they might get kind of confused. Like, wait a minute, what is this? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It sounds like pinky out stuff to me. It sounds like craft beer is getting so big in and of itself, just independent beer, if you will, all by itself is getting so big that we're getting a little stuck on ourselves, right? A little too pinky out, bro. Put your pinky in, settle the hell down, and enjoy your beers, for Christ's sake. Like, too many beer garden conversations, man. Like, puff, puff, pass, fool. Don't keep hitting that sucker, man. Pass it every once in a while. Relax, man. Enjoy it. God almighty. I don't know, man. I don't know. And then you're gonna get talking heads like myself that are gonna, of course, get on here and talk about it. It's a great subject to talk about. Um, he says here in his article that uh, oh, he's gonna try to. Oh, cool. Yeah, right on, man. Jump in. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, cool. Hey, we might have a rare bum sighting here, man. That's pretty. I think he's jumped in actually once before, or a couple times tried to, and it didn't work too well. So he's going to give it a try here. But you've got talking heads like myself that are always looking for something to talk about. I mean, what did I talk about this time last year? Was I felt like it's getting kind of dead, right? Like something's going to shake something up. Maybe this is the shakeup. Maybe this is another shakeup. Like, I kind of had a sense of that. Like I say, this time last year, it was like, man, I'm just tired of I mean, is that all this is? Is just sitting around? Oh yeah, this company made this beer. Oh yeah, this is good. Like, it was just like, are you freaking kidding me? We can't keep doing this. There's got to be something new and exciting, right? And maybe that's it. I don't have to like it, but maybe that's it. I don't, and it's not that I don't like it. It's just that I don't see the need for it, right? Kind of a different thing for me. But if you guys are, I would love to hear it. That's for sure. What else does he say here? But in actuality, it's not. Well, the good thing about this is it makes conversation, right? Oh, wow, look at this. We have Bum.
Can you hear me, Joe?
I can hear you. Can't see you, but we can hear you.
Okay, I'm totally improvising here. I have my phone. I'm trying to go through my phone, and I just assumed that it would be able to show me here, and I'm not sure what it's showing.
So
but just as long as you can hear me.
It looks like maybe you have the wrong camera on. Maybe you have the back camera instead of the front camera.
How do you change it?
Now, there should be some kind of towards the top of your screen, because it looks like we're looking at maybe your desk with notes. Oh, I don't think I can hear you anymore. Yeah, he's gone. You might have hit the wrong button. To tell you the truth, I've only gotten on with my phone a couple of times, and that was a long time ago. And then I know Google's changed it twice since then, so I don't really, I don't really know per se. But that was a good article. I think I will post that one in the what do you say? What time you say? Oh, yeah, Earth's trying to. A lot of people work, so if I can drag this out, I will. Let me see here. Let me post this here so some people go. I think this is it. It's definitely worth a discussion, right? Definitely. I think it's worth discussing a lot of things, right? So this is definitely worth the discussion. Something to talk about, which makes things fun, I think. Keeps it fresh, you know what I'm saying? You have to have conversations, right? Different ideas. That's what it's all about. Let's see. So there's the link. If you're actually on the Share a Beer Show 354 page, you'll see that link for that article pop up there in a second, in case you want to read it right away. And then later on after the show, I'll post it in my Google Plus, so you can in my feed, so you can see it if you haven't seen it already. I'm almost ready for another beer here. I've got some others that some of you have already seen me. Ooh, 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 ooh. Damn, I have not been doing this well at all. So let me. Hey, for those of you that are always curious, let me try to get a picture of this. Ooh, let me get these beers out of the way. Let me get a picture of this kilt lifter here. There we go. And then I'll post it on Untapped. So for those of you that want to get to me on Untapped, let me see. Joe_D. Okay, so underscore is that line that goes across, so you put it in Joe, and then that line that goes on the bottom, that long line that goes across the bottom, not in the middle, but across the bottom, and then D. All right, we got a couple of you here. Let's see.
A couple of bums.
Well, yeah, we got a couple of bums in here, man. So hopefully, one of those has got to work. Between the both of them, one's got to work. Let's see. I think I can still hear you.
Ah, look at that.
Oh, look at that. We have a sighting. There he is.
Good,
All
good Lord.
right. Well, let me see. Let me see if I can boot the other one. I'll boot it, and maybe that'll hopefully get rid of some of that echo.
Okay,
And
is that?
that's way better, man. Hey, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing real good. The only now I can't watch the actual broadcast. This is total improv. I was going through my phone to I was hoping I could do camera and audio through my phone, and I was going to watch myself through the computer, on the big screen on the monitor. But
it won't let you do that.
No, you know what? I don't need to look at myself. There's no need for me to look at myself. I know what I look like. So as long as I'm coming through loud and clear with no feedback, it's good enough for me.
Yeah, no, I hear you. The only reason I do that is to make sure, that others can see me, during the broadcast. Otherwise, yeah, no, I completely understand. I'm making this post to Untapped right now for the kilt lifter. You don't get kilt lifter out that way, do you?
No, I've never seen it for sale.
Yeah, I think now that AB bottom, maybe, they'll start getting out that way. Oh, cool. Photogenic beer level 21.
Something else that I still haven't done yet is gone on Untapped.
You haven't really?
I have not. Joe, I invented a name for myself, a term. I am a technotard.
What is that?
A technotard. T-A-R-D.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I got you. Technotard. Yeah.
And
yeah, I
actually,
got you.
somebody used to call me the techno turtle, the technology turtle, because I always start embracing the technology, any technology, years and years after, it's become accepted in the mainstream.
Like, in other words, you just bought your first calculator.
No, you're not too far away from this. I did not buy a cell phone until 2011, and even then it was just a flip phone, and I still have a track phone. It's a track phone, and it's an Android, and that's why I was hoping I was going to be able to get on camera tonight without using without using the computer. I just downloaded the Google Hangouts app today. I used the technology for what I need to, and that's it.
And that's it, right.
Until today, this phone was used for phone calls and texting and taking the occasional picture.
Well, thank you very much for jumping in. You're very welcome here, my friend. You know that.
Yeah.
I wonder, see, now this is the question now, Bum, because Mark's going to be a little insulted. He might think that you purposely waited to make your rare appearance on the show till he exactly left.
Oddly enough, I thought about that. I actually thought about that, and I thought, wow, I hope nobody thinks that I'm like trying to edge my way in the I'm trying to take over the role of Banana.
Yeah.
Of Mark's Ed McMahon to your Johnny Carson.
Yeah. Yeah, he might get. I wonder if there's going to be a little jealousy now, a little like, hey man, this guy moved in on my turf here.
No, the reason why I did this was because this was an odd night, and a lot of nights that a lot of nights it's been just you and Mark.
Yeah.
And when Mark said last week that he was going to have to bowl, I thought, well, this is going to be a cool show for Joe if he can be on here for a while, and if Mark can't be on here. I didn't want you to be on here by yourself for an hour,
Hmm.
and I figured you just might end it early. So I thought maybe I could help you keep it going.
Oh, well, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm I'm a
'Cause
bit
I don't
of
know
a,
if anyone else is going to jump in.
and that's perfectly fine. I've done that dozens of times. I appreciate it though. Thank you. But as you know, you've been watching long enough. I'm a talking head. I mean, I could.
You're very good. You're very, very good at not having any dead air.
Yeah,
You're
I,
a good talker.
yeah. Well, see, all those years that I actually did my podcast, that was, of course, all solo. So that was all by myself. Granted, it wasn't live, but it was just me talking about it. But that was more of a trucking podcast. I did more of a trucking podcast, so it was, of course, anything to do with trucking, traveling, being safe while you're driving, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Trucking news, a little bit of sports in there. But so, I think they still actually have. Do they actually? Let me see. I'm kind of curious because every once in a blue moon, I'll. Oh my God! Oh, they took it down. Okay. I used to. It was called the ABQ Trucker Podcast, and now they finally took it down. So yeah, it's no longer up. I thought maybe whoever would want to go check it out, those would be some old episodes, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really have too much beer news though, but there's always something being posted. um, I saw some article here about it's labeled "Sad Truth About Seltzer," the delightful little bubbles, and what is that? And they crawl. I've never had that brand. And Perrier are kind of bad for your teeth, and I think I've heard that before. Have you ever heard something like that?
No, seltzer. I mean, just like carbon dioxide, like Alka-Seltzer.
Like seltzer water,
Right.
seltzer. Yeah. Um,
Is it just CO2? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. Let me see. I didn't even have a chance to read the article here.
I think carbonated water.
Um, let's see. Let's see, Fruity Pep of Perrier, Zestin, they're talking about different brands. Punishing bitterness of the leftover club soda used to make one. I think, you know what? I don't see anything here that he's written to support anything what he initially said. I think it's just a headline. Wait, okay, let me see. Sometimes these cats just they just want to get clicks. But he might. Let's see. Okay, here he goes. Okay, now he's getting to it. So the good news is it's a relatively weak acid. So I think he's trying to come at it that way. So up here you have fizzy water contains an acid, carbonic acid, that gives it its bubbles. The acidity can gradually wear away tooth enamel. So the good news is it's a relatively weak acid, unless they're flavored with citric or other acids. Seltzers tend. That reminds me of Seinfeld. Do you remember that episode of Seinfeld where they were in the cafe and they were like, it must be hard for a Spanish person to ask for salsa instead of salsa or something like that. What was that episode? Do you remember?
I haven't seen it. I'm not a Seinfeld aficionado. I like the show,
okay.
but I don't know it episode by episode.
Hey, we have Dave here as well. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Joe, what's happening?
Hey, this is a rare Monday show. Actually, this is a really old school. This used to be the day that we had the show way back in the day.
Back to the roots.
Yeah, kind of getting back to the roots, yeah. But so how you been, man?
Oh man, reality is hitting me hard now. I saw you were having a show. I was like, well, I'm gonna at least jump in there for a little while. I got everything going on now. I got good stuff, horrible stuff, everywhere in between.
Well, is anybody passed away type stuff?
Yes, about an hour ago.
No
So
way.
yeah, I got everything going on, man. I could turn this show into all about me and we could sit here all night, but let's not do.
I hear you, man. Okay, yeah, this is for some people this is the getaway, so I understand that. So I'll continue on here. You have so that seltzers tend to have more of a neutral pH values than soft drinks like Coke. So I guess he's getting at the small amount of the weak acid that he's saying is in there. I guess if you drink enough of it is what he's getting at, that there could be some tooth erosion. So maybe if you're a heavy drinker of seltzers, I know some people like Perrier water and stuff a lot that it could eat away. So when I saw this article, my thought was, I wonder if that relates to beer as well. Like if you drink, does the carbonation in beer have that same type of pH value that if you drink enough of it, maybe that explains some people's tooth decay?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, catch up, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I missed a show or two when you're sitting here talking about tooth decay or something. What?
Here, man. I got this really good stuff here, man. Catch up.
I don't know what I walked into there, man. It was awesome.
I love that, man. I love the reality of Dave, man. Dave's always missed because he's just like, freaking what? yeah, never mind.
I mean, I'm sure it was entertaining, but when I came in, there was just a bunch of words, words on the screen, words coming out.
That's great, man. I love that, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I had another one.
Bad though. I mean, whatever it was that you were talking about that's causing tooth decay, that's not good. I agree with that part of it.
What this guy, his point was, his article was about seltzer water, and its effects, if you drink enough of it, apparently, even though it has a low acidic rate, the bubbles in the seltzer water have a low acidic rate, it still can over time cause tooth decay. And so I was immediately thought to, okay, what about the tiny bubbles that are in our favorite beverage? Does, a lot of people, I think there's more people that drink more beer, even if it's not craft, even if it is Budweiser, Bud Light, whatever. Does that cause teeth decay? Because, you see some of those cats that drink like a 12 every day, and they smile, bro, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. People drinking that much aren't really that good. They got some other shit going on.
Indeed, right? Yeah.
People that drink that much beer sometimes fall asleep at night without brushing their teeth too.
Yeah, that's a whole
Well, that sucks, man. I can't drink seltzer water either.
Yeah. In the next article will be seltzer water causes cancer. So, you got to watch out for that too.
I'd probably be pretty safe then. I don't think I've ever even drank seltzer water, but
I've had, I think, 3 Perriers when they first got big back in the 80s or something. My uncle drinks a lot of Perrier, so I think I had a couple of Perriers with him back in the day. Tilting back to hard stuff. In any case, I do have another beer here.
What are you drinking? What are you guys drinking? I missed them.
My first one was a Kilt. Well, that's why we're having the Monday show, is because I'm off.
Yeah, you're drinking. This is exciting.
So yeah, I was like, but I go back to work tomorrow night. So if I'd have had the regular Tuesday show, wouldn't have been able to,
Right.
to partake either. So I thought, well, let's do it on Monday. So my first one was a Kilt Lifter. It's a Scottish ale from Four Peaks Brewing here in Arizona. And then my next one will be a Guinness Nitro IPA. I still have, I think, 2 of these, so that'll be my next one. Have you had this one yet?
No, I have not. I saw was it Guinness? I saw an ad somewhere today that somebody had an experimental line of nitro beers out.
That was, I posted something about.
Oh, that was you. Okay, that was you that posted it. Okay.
It was about Sam Adams. I think
Oh,
they
okay.
have 4 nitro bitters that they're introducing, actually. Where was the 4 nitro beers that they're introducing? So, which I'm glad for, because it wasn't but a year or 2 ago that it was pretty much only overseas beers that were coming, nitroed, and now we're seeing more and more and more American craft beers nitroed.
I've never had I've had a lot of versions of beer. I've never had a nitro version that was worse, and several times it's been a lot better having a nitro version of it. I'm a fan. I don't really understand what the hell it is. I mean, I got a basic idea, but if it tastes good, I'll drink it. And I've always been pretty happy with the ones I've had.
Yeah.
Although I haven't had a lot, though.
You haven't had a lot of them? Okay.
No, I've had the Wake Up Dead and whoever that who makes that Wake Up Dead? They got a couple different nitro beers out, and then of course the Young's Nitro Chocolate Stout, and really that's maybe those 3 or 4 is about all I've ever had, but I like them.
Well, you have this. This was the article that I posted. Sam Adams. 3. I thought it was 4. So they introduced 3 nitro beers. This, of course, is their white ale. It seems like they do everything with that white ale that they have.
Sam Adams is obsessed with white ales. Almost 1 out of every 2 new products they come out, it involves the word white. It's
Yes.
I've been a Sam. It's becoming tougher and tougher to be a Sam Adams defender each year. They used to be best out there, and they're like the Rolling Stones. They've been around forever, and they came up with a lot of innovations, but they haven't done anything good in a long time.
Oh, here we go. Now, see, this is what me and Mark were talking about earlier. I wonder if this is the term, Bum, nano brewery.
Nano brewery.
I think that's what they consider Sam Adams, right? A nano brewery. Does that sound right?
I have heard the term before, yeah. Bigger than a micro, smaller than one of the
macro.
majors.
Yeah. So they have the Nitro White Ale, the Nitro IPA, and the Nitro Coffee Stout, which automatically gets my attention. Out of all the 3, I would be more inclined to try the Coffee Stout.
Mine too.
I'm not real big.
Oddly enough, I'm drinking a coffee stout right now, a Wolliver's Alta Gracia Coffee Porter. I'm sorry, it's not a stout, it's a porter.
Oh, really?
Drinking the Wolliver's before the brand goes under. I guess Otter Creek is going to kill off the brand, from what I read.
How do you spell that, Wolliver's?
Wollavers.
Averos? What did you?
W-O-L.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Whoops. That went away.
Otter Creek bought them a few years ago, I believe. And from what I read, they're doing away with the Wolliver's brand now. But I'm sure a lot of the Wolliver's beers themselves are going to find their way into Otter Creek's lineup.
And that's their coffee stout, you said, right?
Yeah, coffee porter.
Coffee porter. Let's see here. Pumpkin ale. Is it a season? Oh, here you go. Coffee porter. Yeah, the Alta Grassa. Is that?
Yeah, that's it.
So you've got 5%, 25 bittering units. Let's see, 100% certified fair grade organic coffee. Alta Gracia Farm in the Dominican Republic. So Dominican Republic coffee is really good. I know that a lot of people that are coffee fanatics talk about that. So you got hints of vanilla. Brings out the sweetness of the dark roasted Dominican coffee. So I assume they roasted that pretty dark. I don't know.
Well, it's funny. I love the taste of this, and it really, really tastes like coffee, but I don't drink coffee.
Yeah. So it looks like it comes. Is it only in 6-packs?
No, it's been around for years, and I've seen cases of it, and it's I think everything Wolvers has always put out has been organic, and yeah, the USDA organic label is on here, and Wolvers has been around for a while, and I'm sorry to see it go. When I saw a 6-pack of the coffee porter for sale, I was like, oh, this is probably going to be some of the last Wolver stuff I'm ever going to see. So I just bought a farewell 6-pack of this, and yeah, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss the brand.
So that's one of those Vermont beer breweries, and they're on their way out. That is pretty sad. Okay, so you have a seasonal pumpkin. Have you had that at all? That pumpkin ale?
Yeah, I have. I'm not a huge pumpkin beer person, but it was good. Wolvers made one of the best oatmeal stouts I ever had, but from what I've heard, the oatmeal stout.
Well, that's it for him. He was on a phone, so.
Oh.
So that connection might be kind of weak. So I think it might be kind of hit or miss on the phone. But I'm glad he jumped in, though, man. That's a very, very, very. I can't even remember that. He's gotten in before.
I don't think I've ever seen him in here. He's the guy that does the fact checking and stuff, right?
Yeah, he's the Share Beer fact checker, man.
Yeah. So I'm familiar with him, but I've never hung out with him, I guess, directly.
Let's see.
I'm drinking one of these. I don't know if this is available to you. It's Four Hands Brewing Company Reprise Centennial Red Ale. It's very interesting. Normally, I'm not a huge fan of reds. I don't know what it is, but they definitely push this more towards the IPA side. If you handed somebody this in a glass and they couldn't see the actual color of it, because it's actually, they did a really good job with, well, it doesn't show up well on the screen, but the color of the can matches. Can's very interesting. I don't know if you can.
It is, yeah. Yeah, I like that.
I like cans, but I was noticing here on the back, it's red ale brewed with Centennial hops, which, there you go. I'm a big fan of those. That Founder Centennial is one of my favorite IPAs out there. So that's probably why it's interesting to me.
And you said that's Red Hand?
Four Hands.
Four Hands. Yeah, I'm going to look that up because I think
it's out of St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, out of St. Louis? There's many Four Hands. Had to be specific here. Four Hands.
I had never seen him before. My brother-in-law, he's been popping in. Well, he popped in here a little while for coming in town. He lives in Indiana, but he popped in here and he stopped down to a local liquor store here somewhere and brought this over when he was here last week. But I was very, very, very impressed with it, because normally when I see a red, I'm usually a little cautious. I don't know, something about him, just the style just isn't me.
Yeah, I have to admit I'm not a really big red person either, but I will drink them, and like I've said with other styles, I mean I can't tell you a good one from a bad one. They're not necessarily my thing, but you know,
That's kind of why somebody hands me one, I'll drink it, but that's not what I'm buying if I'm trying to pick something out new. But this one's very
Right.
tasty. I would definitely buy this. If I saw it sitting there, it's more on the IPA side though. I'd kind of like to. Wish I had a Founders Centennial sitting up there now that I know it's Centennial hops and kind of taste them back to back and see, if that's the flavor that I'm digging about it is them Centennial hops, but I'm sure it is.
Well, let me share the screen real quick. Show everyone what Four Hands Brewing out of St. Louis, Missouri, is doing here. They've got Ooh, this is interesting. They've got all beers year-round seasonal wood series and anniversary beers here. Let me see what they've got available year-round. So this is their year-round. They've got a single speed session, which is a blonde ale. Divided Sky Rye IPA, Reprise Centennial Red, the Cast Iron Oatmeal Brown. Sounds tasty to me.
Yeah, me too.
And Resurrected, which is looks like a Mosaic hopped IPA, which could be damn good. Pours amber in color with a firm off-white head.
Everybody likes off-white head.
Jesus Christ.
Their label, their little logo thing's kind of cool too. I didn't really notice it on the can, but looking at their webpage, it's like a little hop leaf with for leaves or whatever. That's
kind
of a neat logo, really.
It's actually hands. Yeah, when you look at it deeper there, it's a hop, but it's actually like little hands. It's pretty cool. That is pretty. I didn't notice that till you said that. That is pretty cool. And actually, the logos for all their different beers here are pretty cool. They have their seasonal beers. Then I want to get to this wood series, though. I want to see what this is all about. Are these all smoked, or what's the deal with
they definitely have their labels figured out, don't they? I don't know if they're. I mean, this one beer that I've had from them is I would put in the good to excellent category, but man, their artwork is good for their.
Okay, so the wood series looks like they're all barrel aged, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you have this, what is this, Covey, what is this, Ange or something? It was inspired by the French oak wine barrels we used for this project. Wow, so let's see, fermented with wild yeast and aged in combination of Cabernet, Merlot. Oh, I don't know all these wine names, man.
It sounds complicated.
Greenwich barrels with raspberries and blackberries. It's a fruity, tart, complex ale. Yeah, just like you said. Pours a bright rose with aromas of fruit, funk, and wood. I have to admit, I would try that. That don't sound bad.
In my opinion, it's delicious.
I have to admit, I would try that. What is this? I don't know how to say all that names, but in any case, this other one here was aged in saison. Wait! It's our second in our barrel aged saison series. Okay, so it's the barrel aged saison. Soft and delicate firm. I'll say. What was it? Oh, so it was aged in wine barrels with tart cherries. Oh, so it's kind of a cherry saison, if you will.
Interesting.
So it's got notes of cherry, funk, wood, and spice. Volume number 1 is our first release in the wood series. So it's an ongoing series focusing on high gravity ales aged in American spirit barrels. So that sounds interesting. That's probably, what is this? An imperial stout with cocoa nibs and a single origin coffee aged in American whiskey barrel for 16 months. Aromas of bourbon, coffee, and rich dark chocolate. Then you have this other one here is a, let's see, aged in bourbon barrels. This was a, let's see, what style was it? Well, how come it doesn't say? Let's see. Is it another stout? Let's see. Am I missing it here? Let's see. Characters of whiskey blends beautifully with the strong malt base, resulting in beer full-bodied combination of rich caramel sweetness with robust bourbon intensity. Okay, cool.
It says a high gravity ale, but I don't know what really they mean by that. You know, an
Yeah.
old age ale or an old ale, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So it's an. Okay. I got it. I got it here. Yeah. That is a.
Seems to me like something you should be drinking out of a horn or something.
It's like an alt beer. So they say this one pairs well with chocolate or cigar. So it's more of a after dinner type beverage. So it's definitely a something that would resemble like a barley wine. I think
I'm gonna get drunk.
So
they don't really give much information, do they? They
not really. They do got, man, look at these labels, are cool.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. The more I'm looking at it, this can't be a small brewery at all, can it?
Well, it could be. Maybe
they got some money back behind this. This website's got some money behind it,
Yeah, they did a good job with that. Wonder if let's see the brewery here and see if they show any pictures of it. Let's see, Four Hands. Oh yeah, 20,000 square foot brewing facility with 3,000 of those square feet dedicated to barrel aging.
Wow.
So yeah, they're not just. I want to say I heard of Four Hands, man. I want to say I really have.
I had never. Evidently, they're around here in this area. They're big enough to be up here. I mean, I'm not that far away from St. Louis, but my brother-in-law picked him up when he was in town, just looking for something at the local. The place to get craft beer is the local grocery store. So, but it's. I haven't been up there, so I don't know if they got their full line or if it's a regular. I had never seen it before, but I haven't been up to buy any craft beer for quite a while. I mean, lately, if I'm getting beer, my wife stops and picks something up for me. She knows my old standbys, and I just drink whatever she puts in the fridge. I'm getting pretty lazy on that front.
Well, that's. I know how that is, man. If you got someone that'll do that for you, this is what it's all about right here, man. I love just watching a.
Is that an off-white head?
It is.
It is.
The very top. What's nice is on the camera you can see it better than I can right here in person. But this very top is really white, and then you've got that looks just like I see it.
Yep. Then you got your root beer float going.
Yeah, it looks like a root beer float.
Yep. Yeah, I love that. That's that nitro beer, right?
Yeah. This is the Guinness Nitro IPA. Ooh, damn! I need to take a picture. Hold on.
That's an IPA. That's dark. Or it looks dark from here, anyway.
It looks dark. The bottom is kind of like caramel color. So in a few minutes here, it'll be about caramel color. So I want to hurry up and get a picture of it before it gets too dark. There. And then I'm losing sunlight here as well too. So. Yeah, see, it does look dark, but if I had a light shining back of it, you would see. Well, you can kind of see it here on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
That on the edge is what I'm seeing, all the way through it. But those bubbles make it really smooth. That's for sure. I mean,
watch them teeth, though.
Hey, the teeth. You gotta watch the pH levels. That could be kind of questionable there. Poor Bum, man. He was really excited about being able to jump in.
Yeah, he may be.
Mark, this is a rare deal for us. And it's Mark's bowling night, so he had to. We had a rare Pam sighting too. She was on for half a second, saying hi real fast. So
nice.
Yeah, we had a lot of stuff happen already tonight, man.
That's Mark's wife, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen her. I always kind of figured she was fictional. Some people just make it up, for more whole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I've been fortunate enough to meet her. She's a very nice lady. But back in the day, she used to pop in every now and then, you know, and say hi real quick. But yeah, anymore, you know, stays off camera, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife, she'll come down once in a while to bring me a plate of food or something, and she makes sure she stays way clear of anything the camera is going to pick up.
So how is the band going, playing at least? Is that been
Yeah, that's going really well. Hooked up with a bunch of guys. Actually, I answered a Craigslist ad for some guys looking for a bass player, and I auditioned for them, and they called me back. And when I went back, they happened to be looking for another guitar player as well. So one of my real good friends that plays guitar that I play with all the time, I went ahead and brought him into the band, and it's going really well. We played our first. What we did was played host band for a jam night, you know, here at a local place in town, and they liked us well enough. They hired us for a full gig, and we do that. I think that's in March, early part of March. So we're cramming because it was a relatively new band. We've only been together for a few weeks, or 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that, I think it was. And so you know, we're cramming to get material in to get the show. We'll get it. It ain't that big of a deal, but one of our, you know, a couple members got sick last week, so we couldn't get together. But so we're just going through the gaining enough material. It's a cover band, so it's not original stuff. So we're just learning, you know, trying to get enough material that we'll get it, but get this stuff done by March. And you know, that's been taking up a lot of time.
Yeah,
but yeah, actually, the band thing's going really, really well.
Good. So you have some sort of a lease at least. You know what I'm saying? Like something that you know.
Yep. And everybody's real. I mean, it's not only, you know, getting together to play music, but everybody's fun to be around. You know, which helps a lot. You know, I had three bands going there for a little while, and one of them just, you know, nobody really enjoyed their company. You know, you get together and you get the music goes okay, but you can just something goes on where, you know, nobody really enjoys each other's company. You know, so that happens. You know.
Yep, absolutely. You know, just because we're all artists doesn't mean that we're all gonna have the same styles or get along or be a complete mesh. You know, as artists, meshing is actually when you're in the type of art that you depend on other people. I'm in that same kind of art field as well. I depend on other people to do my art, and so when you depend on other people, you have to mesh. If you don't mesh,
you have to.
I mean, I would rather have, you know, a stage less quality and have complete, you know.
Absolutely. And I mean, you know, this band is a 5-piece, which, you know, it's hard enough just to get 5 guys to get together at one time.
Right.
You know? I mean, even if they have common interests, you know, to get 5 guys with real lives and, you know, have them actually all get along, which, you know, there's always going to be problems. But yeah, this project seems to be going really well. I'm pretty hopeful for it, you know, so.
Oh, man.
It must give me a chance to use all my badass shit that I got, you know. So that's pretty sweet. You know, you pile up this equipment in you know, that one jam night, you know, I think we had 3 truckloads of stuff and probably $35,000 worth of gear between all the people, all the stuff that we took over there. You know, that goes, everybody gets out their stuff and go, you know, like, Jesus Christ, you know, we do you know, a couple $100, you know, but
yeah,
you know, gives you a chance to get out there.
Yeah, it's fun, man. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? And you get out there, and people, if they enjoy, you know, what you're playing, they're having a few beers and enjoying it. That's just icing on the cake right there. You know.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm in the same exact boat, man. And it's the more people you have to collaborate with on the same day at the same time, it is. People don't realize, like, especially if you're the organizer, if you're the one that is kind of in charge of, okay, dudes, you know, let's, you know, are we a go? And I mean, all the way up until like an hour or two before the event, it's a stress. It's stress, you know.
It's very rare when it doesn't just fall apart too.
Yeah.
You always get somebody flaking on you.
Always, yeah. As a matter of fact, you prepare for that, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, you just prepare for it. You know, you have those people that you know are just boom. You know, I had a makeup artist that I knew was just like clockwork. She's just boom, you know. Didn't have to worry about her at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then I had a few models like that, but then I had my few that, you know, I would count on for something, and I knew there was a 50-50 shot with them, man. And I'm like, dear God, you got to keep on them, you know, because they'll, you know, you get those type of people, and they'll pull that was it today? Yeah. Well, remember, fool, when I talked about it last night and told you tomorrow? Like,
Definitely.
so it's definitely tough, you know. Even if they are paid gigs too, it's still can be very tough. So I understand that. Looks like you got some guitars and stuff piled up back there, man.
Oh yeah, I got stuff everywhere. I got this little guy too who's trying to take up every little bit of my time here. He's 7 months now, and seems like I'm just the center of his attention. You know, he can't seem to do anything. He's giving me fits right now. I don't know what he wants, but he's a good boy. But man, he sure does. This dog makes you. It seems like his only purpose on the whole face of the earth is just to make you happy. You know, so it's kind of not give him just about everything he wants. You know.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah, he's a good boy. But he won't leave me alone right now. Usually he'll curl up in the corner when I'm doing stuff, but must be normal playtime.
Yeah, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? That's sounds like a good companion. You know, that's I was trying to. Well, I think that might wrap it up for tonight, man.
Alrighty.
I appreciate you coming in, Dave.
Good
seeing you again.
Yep.
And we had Bum in here as well. Rare Share Beer sighting of Bum, man. Actually, well, I think we've had him in here maybe twice, and I think it was just voice both times. And he might have tried video the one time, and then it didn't quite work out again. So, hey, today was good. We actually got him recorded on camera.
Yep, he's real. He's real.
He is real, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's good, man. I appreciate it, man.
It was good seeing you again. Good talking at you.
Peace out. Later.
Yeah.